Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I see.
Are we ready to go?
Yep.
We good? Okay. All right, this is the November 14th, 2023 meeting of the City of Jefferson's Historic Preservation Commission. My name is Alan Wheat, and I am the chairperson of the commission. We will begin with introductions with Aaron Mealy. Aaron Mealy, Council.
Tiffany Patterson, Laura Ward,
Donna Dietz, Kristen Boston.
Brian Warren.
Okay, so, and
Deborah Green.
Okay. And so our member absent tonight is.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Deborah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And city staff.
Rachel Sensing,
Dawn Kirshner.
All right. Okay, the city code authorizes 9 regular members. A quorum of 5 members is necessary to conduct business. I declare that a quorum is present. Are there any members who are disqualified from voting on any agenda item? Okay. Should I have a motion to adopt the agenda as printed or amended?
so move.
Second.
Okay. We have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. Approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the last regular meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Do we mean old business?
No.
Okay, new business. Tonight we have an election of officers for 2024. Do we have any nominations for this?
I thought we had a slate from last meeting. I don't remember what it is.
We had Ellen as chair and
And Dr. Green as vice chair.
Okay, do we have any other nominations?
I make a motion that we approve the slate that's presented before us.
second.
Okay, all right. Any discussion? Are you good, Deborah Green?
I am good.
Okay,
We both accept.
I accept.
I'm only
concerned. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Would you mind doing a roll call for
Okay, let's do a roll call, but Don.
Okay. Dr. Green,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Ellen,
Aye.
Donna,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
Tiffany.
Aye.
Thank you, the motion carries. Thank you all. Okay, in your packets is the HPC meeting calendar for 2024. And you're looking for approval for this? Is that what you're looking for? Everyone had a chance to look over that. Doesn't look like any of our meeting dates shouldn't be a calendar conflict unless it's just something personal.
It's still the second Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yes.
looks like it. Do we need a motion to
Motion
approve?
to approve.
I so move. I move to approve the calendar for 2024.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, Rachel will now update us on 3206 South 10 Mile Drive, Section 106, CDBG, emergency repair of the front portico.
Yes, so our community development block grant program that we run in the neighborhood services division, we have a program called emergency home repair. So if we get a family that meets the 80% low to moderate income threshold, they're eligible for up to $5,000 of emergency repair assistance. In this case, the property at 3208 South 10 Mile Drive, I should note that it's a combined dual address. The home has an address and the garage, the attached garage has an address. So it's a little, if you see 3206 and 3208, it's essentially the same property, but they do have two distinct addresses. I just want to point that out in case that comes up. This particular property, their front, which I will go ahead and pull up the pictures because it's easier to see. But as a reminder, we have to go, anytime that we utilize federal funds on a property, we have to comply with the National Environmental Policy Act as well as the National Historic Preservation Act. So it's literally section 106 of that act. Here's the property and the garage, and I will go ahead and get to where we have some separation issues. We also, if you're wondering, this is the surrounding neighborhood. This is also a component of section 106, is they want to make sure that any of the federally funded activities are not going to harm. So you can kind of see the front porch there, and then it has kind of a bump out and then you'll see kind of the separation that's occurring. And that top picture, you can really see how it's actually pulling away from the property. So this is what the funding would go to do, is to go ahead and remove that front porch and replace it and allow egress of the property. So on the inside, you can see it's actually pulling away from the interior as well. So it's got some significant damage to wires penetrating every time it rains. The Historic Preservation Commission, one of the requirements of going through Section 106 process is that we engage stakeholders. And in this role, the Historic Preservation Commission is acting as a stakeholder. In your packet, on page 9, you'll have the Historic Preservation Commission assessment, in which we would request that this commission check one of the boxes on the review so we could send it to the State Historic Preservation Office. So if you feel that this project is adequate and that there will be no historic properties affected, we can go ahead and move that forward. Then I should say that this property is not located in a National Register Historic District, individually listed, or in a local historic district.
I would think that the adequate documentation has provided and no historic properties are affected, and I can't imagine the porch replacement would disturb any cultural, underground cultural things that haven't already been disturbed by the building's construction, so.
Minor concrete work will have to occur, so we did have to, minor disturbance. But.
Yeah, but
Are you making that as a motion?
yes, I move what I just said.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, the motion carries.
And Alan, we'll want to make sure we get your signature.
Yeah, I'll just have you sign.
Okay. All right. Next, other business. HPF grant updates, Rachel.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and update the commission on all of the different activities that we've had. Our Historic Preservation Fund grants, we do have MSP in there, but we can talk about that as well.
Oh, sorry.
Not technically an HPF grant, but we can go there. The MSP, so the city and state extended their agreement for the land conveyance at the Missouri State Penitentiary through 2025. There is some discussion to extend the agreement even further. We do have a community revitalization grant that is supposed to demolish Housing Unit 5, the corridor, and potentially Housing Unit 2. However, we're working with DED. We're trying to work out how we can spend those funds on state property. The issue there is that we don't have site control, even with an agreement, so we're trying to make sure that we're compliant with all of the grant requirements. There is still conversation about demoing components of the wall, what parts of the wall, how much of the wall, to what extent the wall. Those conversations are still being discussed with state officials. So really, we're trying to do some of the brush cleanup and get some of the site ready. Also, kind of plan ahead. But there is going to be a build out of Chestnut Street. And then this grant funding will either be used to do some of the demolition activities in MSP, If it doesn't work out with the property and the project period of performance, then we may look at shifting that grant to some of the, kind of the outside connected greenways and sidewalks and whatnot. So there's a lot up in the air, but we're still having those conversations about what exactly is going to happen with MSP, and a lot of it is reliant on the state's One Health Lab and what they're planning on doing. So the state Office of Administration did contract with PGAV to do a report on how they should treat MSP as a historic site. I believe DNR and State Parks is involved with that project as well. They don't have the findings of that report yet, but as soon as we get that, we'll send that out. And that's kind of why we're also in a holding pattern, is we want to see what the state's report will say and what their planned activities are for it. So that is pretty much the extent of the update. But if you all have any questions, I'll answer them if I can.
When's that report due in?
Any day, because I think there's supposed to be a meeting with the governor's office the first week of December. So I think, any day now is when we're supposed to, I think it's overdue, honestly. So hopefully we'll have some more answers by the next meeting.
Phase 2 West Main survey.
Yes, so this is also, if you'll remember, Stantec as the consultant that we hired. We got stuck on one of our grant milestones due to the construction dates of the properties that were being surveyed. They were using Sanborn maps and city assessor data or county assessor data. But the SHPO wanted city directory research, and Stantec felt that was beyond the scope of what was in the DNR guidelines to provide. So we had asked Stantec to provide us with basically how much it would cost for them to come in and do that extra research. We did send it back to the SHPO, and I think they are going to provide additional grant funding. So that way Stantec can do that extra research. We still have to provide the match, so it's a 40-60 split, so we'll have to come up 40% of just $4,000 and some odd dollars. So it's not a whole lot, but we can come up with that extra match. And but it'll likely delay the project, so we'll probably have to request an extension to get all of our paperwork ducks in a row. So just a minor hiccup on that project, but we should be able to keep going, just be a little bit later than what we anticipated on that final project.
Any questions on that? Okay, Paul Brune grant updates.
Yes, so Paul Brune we've got two projects that are in their environmental review phase, which is the 206 to 210 East High, the old JCPenney building, and also 300 East High. They are still kind of going back and forth with the SHPO on what exactly the scope is, especially with the roofs. But the other four projects we've had one-on-one meetings with almost all of the property owners, talking about how to federally procure contractors and consultants to do the work. And they are putting out bids. I will note that the Cole County Historical Society has a new executive director, I believe as of the first of this month. So she met with me a couple of weeks ago, and we got her all caught up on the Paul Brune grant. And yeah, so we're excited. So we'll see start seeing some of the good activity that we're hoping for with those grant funds.
HPC code revision update.
Yep, design guidelines.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was together. Phase 2 West Main survey design guidelines.
Oh no, sorry.
Okay, sorry.
So the design guidelines, we did send out the 70% draft to everyone. And if you have any comments, please review that. And if you have any comments, I think the last time that Tim from H3 Design Studios was here, He basically indicated that the draft work, the actual writing of the plan was about 90% complete. Then they're gonna fill out with a lot of the photographs and the images and the little bump out text box to make it more visually appealing. We did talk a little bit about East Capitol and what was going to happen, especially with the 400 block and what that was going to look like. When I did present this in front of Public Works and Planning, just as a general grants update, and they wanted to know what the 400 block would look like. So I think there's going to be lots of conversations about how the 400 block will be treated, how that relates to the capital overlay. And just bringing all of the, all the tools that we have in the toolbox for the 400 block. So I think any comments or suggestions, now's the time that some of those conversations will start to take place. The condemnation, I believe, so the city has been awarded the properties in the condemnation suit. But we're trying to, there's an assessment on how much the city needs to pay Barbara Bisher for that condemnation process. So it's almost there, but not quite completed. So we're just tying that up. As soon as the properties are formally with the city, then we can go through that RFP, that second round of RFP process for those that put down earnest money on, I know 401 and the funeral home, and there's a few other properties as well. So we'll go ahead and start this process. And I'd be happy to answer any questions on that.
And I'm guessing the courts are gonna take into consideration the amount the city has invested in those properties already
Lease and
with
stuff.
abatements and does she have any bad taxes?
Yeah. So all of that kind of gets thrown in and to see what
See
happens.
what we'll still have to
I
pay.
know it was late last week that they assign commissioners to the case and they go out and they do the property assessments for that. So that was really about like, this is how much, what's the value of those properties, and then subtract the back taxes and any of the funding that the city has put into the properties as well. So, but the good news is that the courts have awarded the city.
Yeah.
Almost there.
Okay, code revision updates.
So I've updated, I just finished updating the code. I've got to have somebody reformat it. And then we'll be sending it out to the HPC and the stakeholders group for public comment. We'll probably do a 30-day public comment period to work out any kinks that we didn't foresee as a stakeholder group, or just to consider comments that the public may have. Once we do go through that, we'll probably reconvene the stakeholders group and get them to formally start the process. And we'll go through this body, the Planning and Zoning Commission, Public Works and Planning, and then Council. And then we'll have to learn a whole new set of code.
All right,
It'd be good. And that's it.
do we have anything else? Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Okay, all say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.